Hey, what is up everyone? It's Larry the Batman fan here, and I'm back with another video. Rocking out in the Batgirl shirt again, because Batgirl is awesome. But anyways, we're not really here to talk about superheroes today. We're here to talk about another biblical thing. And I mean, some of it that I'm about to mention here is not biblical, but I will give some biblical things on it. First thing I want to talk about is witchcraft. There are many forms of witchcraft, and there's forms of witchcraft in movies as well. Prime examples of movies that I don't consider godly. Excuse me. That's better. Movies that I consider ungodly, even if they carry a PG-13 rating. Practical Magic, Harry Potter, Hansel and Gretel Witch Hunters. The original Hansel and Gretel movie had a witch in it as well. The Wizard of Oz, I know that that's G, and I know that's going to be controversial for some people. But it has witchcraft in it. Why are you watching witchcraft? And Harry Potter, of course. And I also don't think that Twilight is very Christian either. I've seen a little bit of one of those on television, and that was when I was down in Florida and everything with my friend Dane. He didn't see anything wrong with it. He's Christian. But really, it was quite evil from what I saw. I only caught a couple of glimpses of it, but it was pretty demonic from what I saw. And watching these movies can also affect your spirit, because you're opening up the door to letting Satan come into your life. And little do you know the dangers of letting Satan into your life, because when you do that, he just gives you a little bit of it. And you're like, oh, well, that's not so bad. So then what happens after time, you start to get accustomed to it. It's like working a job. When you work at a job, if it's something new, it's an experience. And when you first experience it, you don't know what you're doing. So you have to have training by somebody that knows what they're doing. And then once they know that you're not an idiot, then you can actually do the job on your own. And you do very well and you're successful. Well, the devil is like that too. Because the devil uses forms, and he could even get to you in your dreams when you least expect it. He used demonic things, images, and things that you would never thought could happen. That's why it's good to stay vigilant and serve the Lord and follow Jesus Christ and walk in his footsteps and not in the devil's path. So watching these certain movies of witchcraft, and it actually is an abomination to the Lord. It says it many times. It says it in 1 Corinthians. It also talks about it in Leviticus too. Mentions witchcraft and people that were doing that. It also talked about Legion. Legion had demonic spirits in him. And when Jesus was talking to him, he cast out the devils and the demons in him. And those demons went into the sheep, and they flew off the cliff and died. So trust me, witchcraft in movies is just as bad. You're opening up the doors to be deceived, because once you watch that, you generally speaking rather, you can see the demonic forces come into your spirit and your soul. And once it's there, at first it's not addictive, but eventually it becomes addictive. Same thing with pornography, same thing with Ouija boards, same thing with Harry Potter, same thing with Dungeons and Dragons, same thing with Magic the Gathering cards and tarot cards. And even dealing with fortune tellers is not good, because the fortune teller is deceitful. They're trying to read your mind, or they're trying to do things that's ungodly, that's not of God, just so that they can gain wealth, can gain money. I say spend your money on something more wisely. Don't spend it on something foolish like that. So yeah, the devil uses Hollywood and uses movies as well to deceive people into thinking something is good when it's really not. And then eventually you remember the movie forwards and backwards. Some movies and some entertainment is fine. I enjoy watching movies myself. As long as there's no witchcraft in it, as long as they're not gay or lesbians in the movie, and as long as there's no cursing God, then I'm okay with the movie. Because it's just mindless entertainment. It's just fun. But some of this entertainment can actually affect the person's spirit and their body, soul, and mind. And the Bible says in Matthew 6, verses 23 and 24, that the eyes of the lamp, if the body and the flesh is focused on light, then that body will be focused on good. But if the body of the eyes, or the eyes of the lamp and the body, soul, and mind is focused on darkness, on evil, then that body is going to be focused on darkness. I'm sorry, I got the words mixed up a little bit. But trust me, look it up. Matthew 6, verse 23 and 24. It is there in the Word of God. God does not make mistakes, and God knows what He's talking about. And those are all demonic influences. Advanced Dungeons and Dragons is very demonic. They don't understand that it's demonic. They make it seem harmless, but in reality it's not. There was stories about people committing suicide and jumping off rooftops because they played that game. And you know what? That's demonic influence. Because suicide is not of God. God put everybody on this earth for a purpose. And if they're doing things like that, it's because of not being accepted in the world, feeling rejected, feeling left out, feeling neglected, or it's because of a demonic influence. The devil is real, and so are his demonic forces, demons. And the demons do the best that they can to take out anyone who is the most vulnerable. If you read Proverbs, it talks about it. It even says that women can be very manipulative and cause deceitfulness to a man just because they are gorgeous. But you got to be aware of these things because some women are not good. They are deceitful as well. So if they can be deceitful, so can the devil. And so could another man be as deceitful and wicked and evil. I'm not saying that this applies to every human being because there are good human beings out there. But there are some that don't have good intentions. And it's the same thing with the devil. The devil uses corruption and demonic forces to cause people to act a certain way, to become rebellious. And he also does it in movies and in entertainment as well. In fact, even comic books you got to be careful with reading. There was a time where comic books were not offensive. Comic books were just okay to read. It was just mindless. I mean, yeah, there was some violence in it, of course, but it's because, Batman, Spider-Man, the Hulk, Thor, Punisher, Daredevil, they had to fight the bad guys. You can't not fight the bad guys. So I look at that as just mindless entertainment. It's not bad, even though there's some violence in the in the movies, the comic book movies, and in the comic books themselves. But around the 90s is where the comic books started getting more sophisticated and started having provocative women in the comic books and sex and things that was not done in good taste. So corruption was in that too. The Ouija board is highly demonic. The Ouija board has done no good for human beings. It has done demonic influence. My mom even used to play the Ouija board with her friend Evelyn until mom got saved. And she's a born again Christian. So she sees the demonicness in that. She also sees some demonicness in yoga. Meditation is good, but not if it's meditating on worldly things. You don't understand or realize that meditation can do these sort of things to a person's mind, to where you are so relaxed that the demonic spirits come in. And when they do, they don't come in full force right away. You may see some images when you have your eyes closed like this, your head's back and you're relaxing. You don't expect anything to happen. But then eventually you start to fall into a deep sleep. And this could still happen in your dreams too, having these nightmares. The nightmares sometimes do tell a reality, even though they're just dreams. This is God warning us from these demonic forces. But Satan also can enter into a person's dreams and actually cause them to act a certain way. It can also cause them to be more mindful of what they're listening to or watching. In fact, even Mom this morning shed light on ASMR and tells me to not watch ASMR. I noticed one night when I went to sleep, everything was fine when I was listening to Falling Up ASMR, because she was talking about video games. And I don't see anything wrong with Mario and Luigi and things like that. That's not demonic stuff. Neither is Zelda, things like that. It's just video games. But then, after she was done, some other ASMR chick went on my phone from YouTube, knowing that I like something, then it starts playing other things. And then I had a spooky dream where I ended up in some spooky house, and there was only one other person there, and it was a goth woman. Had me come in, offered me some tea, and I went in. I was welcomed in, so I went in the dream, and I was offered the tea, and I drank the tea, and it felt good. But then she started asking me some questions, and this was a goth woman, of course. I think she was a Wiccan from the dreams. And some of those questions that she was asking were kind of morbid and dark. And then I saw her with her hands up like this in the dream. And I asked her what she was doing. She said that she was meditating. That is a dream that caused me to say that it's probably not good for me to listen to ASMR. So I'll be going back to watching listening to Alexander Scorby. Because when I listen to Alexander Scorby at night, I have no effect. My dreams are peaceful, and I'm at peace. Because Alexander Scorby was a Christian. Yes, he got into some movie acting, but the movies were either G or PG, so they weren't offensive. And he was a believer in God. He read from the Bible. He is the voice of the Bible. Listening to that is not harmful. But ASMR, I see the dangers in ASMR because it's the same thing with yoga. You're opening up your mind to letting demonic spirits in. Even when you go to sleep, those demonic spirits can be very, very, what's the word? Forceful? I'm not sure if that's the right word. But they enter in, but they enter in sparingly in the beginning, but eventually they enter in full force. So I hope that this helps y'all see that this is something you have to be careful of. You have to be mindful of, because these demonic spirits come in all different forces. They just don't start out very strong. But once they do enter you, then they take over. And then it's all you can think about. Pornography is no good either, because eventually you start to look at women with lust in your heart until it affects you in a negative way. In fact, even Jack Goldkick has been affected by it. So pornography does rewire the brain for a man to think that it's okay to be sexually active, not physically, but mentally. And that's what it does to you. And that's not good either. And neither is witchcraft and certain forms of yoga. If it's meditation that is not of God is highly demonic. And the same thing with with Ouija boards and certain movies can affect the body and the spirit negatively. So I hope you guys enjoyed what I had to say here. Hopefully y'all are not mad at me or pissed off, because I'm really not trying to do that. I'm just trying to give y'all good insight and good advice. Follow Jesus Christ. Don't follow the devil. God bless you all, and thank you for watching. Take care. Peace.